gave you the idea to create the concept of image consulting?
When I was running my boutique advertising agency, part of one of the PR I was doing with a client was an attorney, and they were about to have to pull about 30% of my company's revenue because she had been put up for a judgeship. And I'm sitting there with this woman, and she's like, "Hey, you've been good for me, but I got to go interview with the governor. I'm one of 4 potential candidates, but I dress like a little Oompa Loompa. I don't know how to do this." And I'm sitting there thinking about all the money I'm gonna lose. And she said, "But you always dress so nice."
So this is a little different than what I usually do. See, what I normally do is create a video based off of a concept or an idea, kind of delve down that process, and there's a mixture of my own thoughts, somewhat scripted, somewhat freestyled, a little bit of research. Here's a video, right? This is a little different. I was gonna stream this, do a reaction to it, but this is basically me discussing how I feel personally about Kevin Samuels passing, his influence, and what he actually has done for the black community, in particular black men and women, and there seems to be a lot of people arguing the indiscrepancies between the two. So understand this is just my free thoughts on this. No scripts, no nothing. Firstly, rest in peace. There's a lot of copycats out here. I'm not gonna say them by name, but the red pill, blue pill community, alpha male, beta male. Look, I can even admit at one point years ago, I was delved into that because that's something I was interested in. You get kind of past the point where you understand your choices in women, your choices in your appearance, your choices in the jobs that you take, the careers that you have. Those things are all you. You choose to get a certification, you choose to get a degree. You choose to take a job, you choose to take their offer. You choose not to look for another job. You choose not to look for a better offer. Same thing with women. You choose to get a better woman if you want. If you have to stick with a bad woman.
And at 34 years old, that's your responsibility to address.
You stick to a woman that has multiple baby fathers, multiple children. That is, again, your choice. If you don't want to deal with that, you can always leave. The same way you can refuse to pay bills. The same way you can refuse to pay for a date. The same way in reverse, you can pay for those things. But back on topic, between Tamero, Coach Greg, Elliot Hulse, there's a long list of people from the red pill community that are strongly pushing this without there being any middle variance, kind of explaining in detail what the real issue is. And kudos to mainly mediocre tutorial reviews. That gentleman is the only person I've seen that's an avid friend of Kevin Samuels, not using his content for clout or any of that, and genuinely cares about how men and women and families coincide. The reason why I brought what I said up is because although Kevin talked about those negative things, he said negative things about women, men and women. He would say to a man, "How dare you ask for a woman to sleep with you when you have an average penis, let alone you don't even have 20K.
Okay, you got 2 struggles already. You can't be short and fat.
I'm 40,000.
And how old are you? Almost 40? So you're underemployed too. Your own. No one cares what you did not have. That's your problem. That's it. I didn't have a father. That's my problem.
I mean, that's not even bare minimum. Bare minimum in America, I would argue, is between 40 to 50K, but you should at least have somewhere between 30 to 40, arguably. Even if you're the most basic man, you don't want anything more in your life. You shouldn't be chasing marriage or family if you make less than 30 even. Honestly, I would argue you shouldn't even be doing that if you make less than 100K, but that's my personal opinion on that. Keywords here. Chasing. Chasing a family. So, K has basically, worked on that side too. So it wasn't just him saying things negatively about young, old, and or black women that are incapable of having relationships. He also belittled men that were incapable of keeping a job, keeping themselves clean. As a man, you need to be hygienic. As a man, you need to keep your image to a point. If you have certain jobs and being in certain positions, well, I don't agree with everything. In business, finance, marketing, investing, asset management, those type of jobs, you should be on the street. And you should be in a suit all the time. I 100% agree with that. No matter how hot it is, you should be in a suit and tie. There are some other jobs out here, whether it be healthcare, hospitality, or an office environment, call center environment. These things may not actually involve you wearing a suit all the time. Look, I worked in healthcare for a long time. Some jobs I worked at, it was business casual. Other jobs, it was you need to be dressed at all the time. And
Are they ready to be wives or just ready to be side chicks?
as a man, look, you don't even have to be the prettiest nigga in the room. You just have to have some level of dressing well, having a decent income, be able to speak and analytically solve issues, converse with others, network with others, build something of a legacy at some point. At least I would hope so. Before even asking for a family, demanding a family. So that was Kevin's platform for years. I'm one of the few that pretty much around the time where he was a mainstream for the most. He was underground at the time. Around the time when Fresh and Fit and a lot of them started. Kevin Samuels was really popular for me way before he was on other radio shows and platforms and pods. I was already watching him since late 2018, mostly mid to late 2019. I watched a lot of his content. A lot of his old stuff is very interesting too. You should check that out if you're somebody that's interested, whether it be in engineering, marketing, getting your hand into business. You should watch his old stuff because that's very concrete information about how to network, how to build up yourself, and how to have strong, not only soft skills, but social skills that are beneficial to you in a business. Just because you have a degree and your cert and a fine wife and children, even though wife and children get you to doing some businesses, it doesn't always. A lot of times it could be your appearance and your hygiene. That's why he was an image consultant in the first place. I would be lying if I said I went back and didn't enjoy when he ripped in new callers, new associates, etc. Like anybody else that does YouTube. You've been doing it for 5-6 years. You go from 50-60K in subscribers to like 1 million within months. Of course you're gonna, switch up how your ideologies are. I don't really want to go into too much detail about things he did negatively. I just want to say that his influence has affected many people. Denying that is kind of crazy. Rest in peace, and I will probably delve into so much more other topics regarding this. But in the meantime, DD out.